Hello, everybody, and welcome to another great match here in the SpeedGaming Live Zelda 2 tournament. We've got today MiRai and Big Slamu. Both of these are pretty good runners, have been having a lot of success in the recent tournament, and should be a fairly close match based on their historical times. I'm Elendar, and with me is Drosy1, who's working on some technical issues. How you doing?
Hey there. I'm good. Yeah, you can see we're still trying to get Slamu properly cropped as the runners start. We're not on an island biome, that's for sure.
Yeah, looks vanilla-like so far. We're going to be getting Spell. Looks like both the runners going to pick it up. Oh, Karak.
Well, I don't see why you wouldn't.
Yeah, it could be a time save. Sometimes, you know, what are the odds that what item is the item you need? But, you know, sometimes it's... I think especially with there being hints on, having 3 hints in this first town really encourages you to go through it, and both the runners are rewarded with a hint for the magic key on Karak. That's going to mean that we are definitely going to need the fairy spell to advance logic. 73, unfortunately, for spell not going to be castable. Runners continuing on along this coast. It's very vanilla-like so far, but the randomizer could do anything to us, but looks like a whole lot of nothing so far on Big Slamu's side, and MiRai unfortunately stuck in the traditional Zelda 2 swamp. Found Medicine Cave here. With mixed enemy sets on for this tournament, sometimes this cave can be real nasty early if you get a number of Dairas or Gurias, but looks like a pretty easy enemy set. And of course, easy come, easy go, it's just a magic container. Is this even randomized?
It feels like magic containers and hard containers often just show up in their vanilla places anyway.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of benefit. I think that allows them to actually get one cast out of the spell at Magic 1, but certainly not what they're looking for. Both runners taking approximately the same route, but so far looking like the only route. Go east to find the cross. That's another one they're not going to be too happy to find, but it's always the best kind of hint is the one that's vague enough that you can't really rule anything out, but it's also for an item you don't really want. It's like, thanks for the technically information.
Hey, and we've finally got Big Slamu properly cropped, so...
Hey. Big Slamu, 2-1-2, same as MiRai. Early on, I think we're going to see some pretty standard level routing. I think both of these runners are fans of the just take whatever comes earliest rather than trying to force a bunch of attack, but we'll see how they decide to do their level routing as the seed goes on. 150 points from that Daira, pretty good rate.
Yeah, I mean, better than vanilla is always pretty good, right?
Yeah, for sure. And with this West looking like it's not going to be a short one, having high-value Dairas can be very helpful early on. We're just finding...
And what was that, P2?
Is 3 or 6. Not going to be able to
Okay.
tell for sure from the entrance. And MiRai is trying to get a red iron knuckle here and just having the worst luck. Gives up. That's a 50-50. I believe he missed 4 in a row. And I missed the spell here, but I'm gonna find out quickly.
Well, we're grabbing the mirror. I don't know why she couldn't find her mirror that readily. And wow, blue moblins are giving 70. That's pretty nice.
Yeah, Slamu having an unfortunate desert encounter. Just rolled all large enemies. Oh, looks like we're going to be shooting fire here on MiRai's side, but...
We could theoretically cast it. It's 77, and we have 80 available with that magic jar we found.
Yeah, and fire is linked to another spell here, so I wouldn't be surprised if MiRai does some science pretty quickly here and tries to figure out what it is.
And Rudo is just shield. I don't think we're coming back for that.
No, there's some justification to going in trying to get the hints and just rule out a location, but looks like Palace 5 also here on the west. And a Peabag Cave. And based on the way the terrain's generated, it looks like this may be a segmented west. We've seen a whole lot of the northern section, but haven't seen anything but a bunch of blocks trying to go south. I'm probably going to have to find a pass-through cave here in a bit.
Hey, at least we'll have 5 heart containers to do it.
Yep. Definitely nice to find early on, more so than later, but... Not a pass-through, but MiRai has found Medicine Cave. We'll find another item here. And attack 3, not looking great today. Taking a number of hits to bring those enemies down, but...
And MiRai within an inch of his life after... Spoke too soon. Okay, yeah, no. Got hit by too many of those fireballs in there. Though our runners are doing basically the same thing here.
Yeah, so far there hasn't really been a lot of opportunity for divergence. Both of our runners have sort of went straight forward. And I think both of them were, in theory, looking for the pass-through to move on, but not finding it so far. Just a bunch of additional containers.
I mean, that's something, since this isn't really a layout for getting fast levels. We haven't found like 1,000-point P bags or anything, so the containers are nice to have.
Yeah, for sure. I think both our runners are fairly low on lives right now. I'm somewhat surprised to see MiRai not go into that palace to take a reset on lives.
I was fully expecting an up A there.
I mean, with 6, oh, and here's Maze Island. It's going to be another opportunity for a reset. Declines to take it.
Yeah, that's one thing about these settings, that the 4 continents of Hyrule can link to each other any which way imaginable.
Yep, there's going to be 2 pass-through caves, 1 bridge, and 1 raft as a connector between all of our 4 different regions.
And there's our other pass-through cave. I guess that took us to Death Mountain, but hard to tell.
Yeah, that looks an awful lot like an island's Death Mountain, and unfortunately the grass tile, just another magic container.
Yeah, we haven't found anything yet besides magic and life. I mean, better than finding small magic jars or whatever, but progression would be nice.
Slamu finding his way into Trophy Cave. Yet another attempt to find some progression. Nope. That's a bit skinned, but just an extra life.
Yeah, and it looks like MiRai is right in the same area, though of course he gets hit right as he would have otherwise walked onto Stonehenge.
Yeah, and I believe that might be our last item location in the West. I haven't been tracking that closely, but if that's the case, then Maze Island and Death Mountain are our only choices for pass-through, and I bet our runners are hoping it's Maze Island.
Yeah, much easier to get around than Death Mountain, that's for sure.
Yep. The newest version V4 of the randomizer significantly improved the structure of Death Mountain so that each of the caves sort of lead in the direction they point rather than just randomly teleporting you places. But an island's Death Mountain is still a big time sink.
And that was a nice amount of experience from that Red Lizalfos that Big Slammo took down. And here's our first drop down on Maze Island for the trophy, which all it does is get a shield.
Yep. Some possibility they'll pick it up if they happen to be passing by again, but I don't think it's going to be a priority for either runner to go pick that up.
At some point, we just have to start diving palaces and hope for the best.
Yeah, well, with us knowing any key is in 4, logically, it means that they're going to have to find the fairy spell. And so Big Slammo has made his choice of Maze Island, and MiRai working his way into Death Mountain, trying to find progression.
And here's our other drop
down. It's not Death Mountain. It's the east. Excuse me. What I thought was Death Mountain was a real quick trip to the east, and MiRai has found the boots.
While Big Slammo got the glove.
Wow, big gains for both runners.
Hey, and we have a background now, too.
Excellent.
Shoutouts to Mikan, who got it fixed.
Yeah, that tiny little section is in fact just a little blocked off bit of the east that only had the entrance and the cave for the boots.
I so did not see what the spell in Mito was.
I believe it was life, if I caught it correctly.
Oh, yeah. It was really fast. I caught it on the restream.
But MiRai still hasn't finished checking the west. He's gonna take his newly found boots and explore around.
And Slammo's getting his fire spell. I'm not sure if we yet know what it's linked to.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen a test from MiRai yet. And only 40 points at Magic too, so fire doing what it does. Very expensive early, very cheap late.
So was that shield that it just did? Because I saw Slammo turn colors.
Yeah, with that palette swap, it means it's definitely shield spell. So hard confirmed runners will not be heading back for the shield spell.
Yeah.
Especially with fire being so cheap.
And there's MiRai finding his first drop down, which will get him the trophy, which we now know is completely useless.
Indeed.
Oh, sorry, this is the glove drop down.
That one's the glove, yeah.
That one's useful.
Yeah, MiRai is extremely excited that his last 2 items found have been the glove and the boots. It's just all progression at this point. He's still going to need to find where the reflect spell is, it's possible that we could still need the child for that. But more importantly, right now, the next big piece of progression is going to be the fairy spells that put dungeons in logic.
Right, and MiRai was in East Hyrule, so he should be able to find those towns, I would think. In any case, the boots are a big deal for getting around the map.
Yeah, it looks like he's probably going to be headed right back to the east, and yeah, with the boots, he'll be able to free himself from that little blocked area and continue exploring.
And both our runners are up to attack 4. Let's see if that does anything. Oh, there's the cross for MiRai.
As was prophesied by the hint, a not for useful item. Slimu having a little bit of trouble with some invisible Moas here in Risen P-Bag Cave.
See, the cross does do good things.
Yep. But thankfully, fire is shielded enough to tank
look
him.
At it. New Kasuto has fairy, nice and free. But we do need 7 magic containers to get into that woman's hut. And Reflect is vanilla.
Okay, so we will be needing to find the child. Big Slimu considers picking up that hint and then decides, actually, I know everything I need to know once I pick up this child hint.
And how much is fairy going to cost us? Was that 70? I didn't quite see.
I believe it was 40. 40, pretty reasonable cost. With an amount of magic he's got, that gives him 2 casts per life, which is usually enough to clear dungeons without much issue.
Ah, yes, it was 40. I caught it the second time around, and maybe it'll even go down as we get more magic.
Yep. MiRai hoping this is the 7th magic container that he could pick up the other item, but nope.
Lame. He's not happy. That's one nice thing about having these cams on the runners. Since this is supposed to be a live event, we at least have them, show their webcam so we can see their reactions as we would if this were a live event.
Yep, I've already seen some great reactions so far this tournament. Big Slimu finding this water tile, he'll be disappointed.
And here's Old Kasuto. What do we have left, though? Thunder! Vanilla.
Yeah, we're rolling in a bunch of vanilla spells today.
And Slamu's about to get his fairy spell.
And looks like all of the... There's the child right there! This scene went from annoying to jet scene awfully fast.
Yeah, now we just need to find P4 so we can get the any key sooner rather than later.
Yeah, and it's with the boots, if it's on the east, it's not going to be too hard to find. I suppose it needs to be on the east at this point because we haven't seen it so far. With our luck, it's going to be right here.
Nope.
Oh, just the other 3 or 6. Ah, here's possibility.
Yeah, could be Three-Eyed Rock. We don't know.
Yep, it can't be the combo that easy. With this flag set, anything could be under 3-Eye Rock, so it could just be, a desert tile or a useless cave of some kind, but it could definitely still be Palace 4.
And Naburu has jump, so we're going to get that.
Yep. Wouldn't ordinarily be a high priority, but with it being free and so easy to get, not unreasonable to pick it up. I know MiRai does know how to do the block clips in Great Palace to skip a lot of the upstab rooms, so it's possible by picking up jump stab here, he's signaling that he just doesn't want to pick up upstab and just figures it better to get jump.
Big Slamu does a little bit of a double take seeing the child there.
Yeah, MiRai actually wrote, I'm gonna find a bridge here. There's Death Mountain. Okay, there it goes.
Hopefully we won't need to touch it.
I was saying, MiRai actually authored a really great video as a tutorial on how to do those block clips to do a bunch of upstab skips in Great Palace.
Oh yeah, those take some work.
Yeah, it's tricky to learn, but MiRai sort of breaks it down really well, and was sort of the one who taught me how to do it. So I know that it's definitely in his wheelhouse. That being said, he's also going to have to pass through Darunia anyway to pick up his Reflect at some point. So,
as a relatively new player, he's picked up a lot of stuff quickly, and there's the hammer for Big Slamu. We don't know if it locks anything, but nice to have as MiRai finds Great Palace.
Well, that takes the flute out of logic. It means that we're definitely going to be finding Palace 4 in Death Mountain, or Death Valley, rather.
MiRai trying to get the jump up for upstab, do it the short way, not quite working. That's tough to do.
It is. I believe it's a pixel perfect jump.
It has to be. Slamu not even trying. I don't blame him.
Yep.
Just fairy and go for it.
Yeah, I know. If you're just doing the super jump instead of if you're doing the super jump instead of the sort of vanilla run across the roof strategy, I think you could fail like 4 or 5 times before it loses you time. But compared to just casting fairy, you really have to hit it on the first try for it to be worth.
And we'll get nearly simultaneous reflect grabs. How much is this going to cost us? 108?
Woof!
Wow. Okay, we need to gain some magic levels or gain some magic containers before we can do P4.
Yeah, well, I mean, with only having magic 2, it should be fairly easy. I'm somewhat surprised MiRai deciding to up A here. I think he wants to get down stab before he goes through any of the palaces, but knowing that the any key is in Palace 4 could be a different routing decision to go for that first. There's our raft tile, but that's not going to be very helpful today.
Yeah, once we've already gotten to all of the continents, doesn't really matter.
Yeah, and I think at this point we've pretty conclusively ruled out either east or west being segmented.
And MiRai's going back for his down stab, the best stab.
Yep. Down stab being ridiculously broken. Even in vanilla application without using any glitches like the jackhammer or anything, it's very strong, but obviously with the combat capabilities of these runners, down stab just becomes ridiculous.
I'm not even sure if I'd consider jackhammer to be a glitch.
Yeah, it's definitely arguable. For viewers who are not aware, the down stab, unlike other attacks, does not trigger any immunity on the targets when you hit them with it. So if you get above an enemy and you are between the ceiling and the enemy, you can deal damage as fast as you can mash the down button.
What's MiRai pointing at? But it looks like MiRai is going to start diving palaces. 25 minutes in, we'll finally go into a palace here.
Yep, and he's gonna as his choice starting with Palace 3 or 6.
And he is taking Magic 3. Maybe that'll take Reflect down to something. What was that, 75, 95?
I didn't get a good eye on it, but since he's going to be reliant on the fairy spell, I wouldn't be surprised if he pumps a number of levels into Magic, just trying to keep fairy as affordable as possible.
I think it was 59 and I read it backwards, but at least 59 is doable.
Yeah. You only really need to cast it once. Oh, and haven't seen that one in a while. The old Canadian hole dumps MiRai down.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess given Rando, you might as well see where it leads.
Yeah, with community rooms enabled, some of the more fun rooms from vanilla you don't see all too often, but if he does need to cross it, he's got jump spell, so it's not going to be very difficult. Didn't catch which palace Slamu has entered here, but it's a nice fine shade of forest green.
Kind of like P5 in vanilla.
Oh, man.
This has got to be P6 that MiRai's in with all these drops.
It's certainly looking like it. It is possible to have a big drop column like that elsewhere, but 3 is not that large, and 6 is extremely large.
Yeah. This is an annoying room for Slamu.
Yeah, he's trying to dodge all these heads. Does make it through without taking a death.
And MiRai gets Magic 4. Oh yeah, Magic prices have really come down at Magic 4 now.
Yeah. And with 6 containers, he should be pretty reasonable. And yep, here is Barba.
Weakling Barba comes with only 7 life bars.
Yeah, but with only attack 4, it might take a few stabs.
That seems to be going pretty well so far.
Yeah, good 7-hit cycle to start it off. And even with a little bit unfortunate spawns at the end here, it should be a 4 cycle, nice and quick.
Fortunately, we have enough to cast Fairy there. Yeah, MiRai does decide to burn the gem. Interesting. I figured that close to another level, he'd go past, try to grind out a level, and then use the gem, but no.
Yeah, he decided he could have with the experience he had, he could have taken a life and magic upgrade, but decided instead put all his eggs together into one attack shaped basket to get attack 5.
And here's Guma. Oh no, Rebo, sorry.
Yeah, Big Slim.
I'm an idiot. There were Wizrobes. It had to be 3, 4, or 6. We know it wasn't 6 because it wasn't where MiRai is. And we know it wasn't 4 because they haven't gone through the Valley of Death.
Yeah. Big Slim, who does not have downstab, didn't pick it up before heading in here, so.
The problem is just I see this shade of green and I so strongly associate it with P5.
Yep. It's okay, I associate all palaces with a bright, eye-blinding pink.
Oh, Slamu never got his down stab, I just realized.
Yeah, he decided to stay in the east and start clearing some of the palaces here, and
And Rebo's beefy.
yeah, he's not having a whole lot of success with his down stabless Rebo. He's got one more life to give it another shot, but looks like he's picking up a little bit more experience before giving it another shot.
Yeah, grinding out experience with Thunder.
Yeah, if you're going to take a magic level anyway, it's free.
Yeah, he may just, depending how he feels, he may need to go back and get down stab.
At the very least, picking up another life level would help him out. Nope, deciding just going to move on for now.
And there's the boss room, and MiRai is indecisive. What's he thinking? I think this is Guma.
Yeah, not sure if he wants to give it a try. I mean, 544, he should be. Oh, looks like Guma's a bit beefy today.
Yeah, but Mirai's been doing a nice job of him so far. Ooh. Well, he does have a couple lives. I think he's fine, honestly.
Yeah, he came in a little low on health in that first one. He's got shield spell. Should be able to handle it no problem. Meanwhile, Slamu is making his way through the Valley of Death, decides he's going to have better luck in 4, pick up that any key.
Unfortunately, he's down to his last life already. So if he can't make it through here, he's in trouble.
Yep, and he's got a couple more trap tiles to go.
And looks like Guma takes 2 blocks of life here. That's not great. But we got him.
Yep.
Okay, now what's Mirai doing in terms of leveling? Okay, he is trying to grind something out here.
Yeah, given that he skipped that life level, I think he's definitely gonna continue on the high attack strats. Oh, and unfortunately, Big Slamu does not make it through the Valley of Death. Gonna go all the way back to the east.
He needs to go back and get down stab.
Yep, I bet that's exactly where he's headed right now.
Okay, and yeah, Mirai gets past that level, so now he will get almost 2,000 experience to put him at attack 6. Unfortunately, the tracking app seems to be down again, so we can't actually mark Mirai's finished bosses.
Yep. Our apologies for the technical difficulties.
Wait, here's P4. This is not in the Valley of Death.
How did we miss this?
I like the cool sky blue color.
Apparently this was just sitting here, boots blocked. Okay, well. I guess that means the Palace 1 is in Valley of Death.
And there's Big Slamu's down stab. He should be in much better shape now.
Yeah, the question is, will MiRai try to dig out the magic key here with Fairy only costing 33 at this point, and 6 bars of magic. I think MiRai is just going to be in going. He looks very unhappy having taken that life level. I think he was planning on trying to get up to attack 7 here, and that's starting to look out the window at this point.
I mean, he's still got 4 more gems.
Yep.
And at attack 6, you're taking down a red iron knuckle in 2 hits. I'm not too worried.
Yeah. He's just, once you've taken that level, you can't go back, right?
Right.
Costs get too high to try and get attack levels out of completing dungeons. Especially at 645, he's sort of just stuck taking what he can get at this point, but he'll end up just fine on overall levels.
Oh, and Slamu finds the 3rd magic jar, so he could theoretically get whatever the item in New Kasuto is, though it's probably nothing useful at this point.
Yeah, I think at this point we've not only found all of the logically required items, but also all of the useful items at this point. I think the only thing that could be helpful at this point is more health or magic containers.
I mean, or the medicine for the life spell, but are you really going to go to that trouble?
Probably not.
That was quite a way to jump and then fairy.
Yeah, it worked out.
Only slightly harrowing.
I appreciate
This looks like P1 that Slamu's in. Maybe it's P2?
I think that's P2's Windows texture. Might be wrong, though.
Anyway, MiRai finds Karok. He's so far doing the bosses in reverse order.
Yeah, I mean... Well, 1,000 points there. Looks like he is going to be able to take his attack level.
Nice. Wow, that is possibly the weakest helmet head I've ever seen.
Yep, and he is down.
I was calming with MiRai last night, and we were discussing that helmet head often seems to just be on the weak side in Rando. Not quite clear why that would be.
His health is a little weird. Looks like the item room was right after the boss. Anyway, MiRai does pick up the any key. I think
Perfect.
Helmet Head's health might be a little... I haven't looked at how it generates. It might be a little bit weird because he sort of has multiple health bar syndrome where his helmets break off, and that might have an impact on the way that his health generates, but I am not entirely sure.
I mean, Rebo has multiple health bar syndrome, but if anything, he's usually beefier than average.
Yep. But here we see a swap between Slamu and MiRai, clearing out additional dungeons. I do appreciate the contrast between the blood red and the nice calming sky blue. Oh, and Slamu, unfortunately, missing the jump. That jump is a bit trickier than it looks.
That's not great. I was more surprised that he didn't get the fairy off in time.
Yeah.
And looks like MiRai is really keen on hoping to grind out attack 8 in here.
Yeah, with the bosses being so generous with their P-bag drops. Wow, over 9,000 for attack 8, yeah.
Yeah, wow. I'm guessing when he gets to P3, he'll effectively do attack 9 so he can take a gazillion levels in Life and Magic.
Yeah, I mean, with that being such an expensive attack 8, I wouldn't be surprised if he just does his XP dump now. At this point, he's probably going to be hitting pretty close to like 788 anyway.
And Slamu is on Karok. Just needs to continue a bit past to get the big key.
Getting trolled pretty badly, already having taken 2 hits.
Let's hope he survives long enough. Well, he'll probably place the gem, I'm guessing. Oh no, he'll want the extra 19 experience.
Yeah, for sure. And wow, 33, just enough to get him through the door. Nope, he's just gonna burn it.
Oh, huh.
He's like, I ain't got time for that. Gotta go fast. And with attack 7 here, I'm surprised it even took 3 hits.
Yeah, I mean, clearly attack 7 isn't powerful enough.
9880 XP for attack 8. That is a high roll.
Yeah, makes you wonder what attack 9 is. 9999 or something?
And it's just a dead end here for MiRai, so he's gonna wait it out and get his XP.
You were right. He is going to take a boatload of levels in everything.
So,
I didn't quite get 777. We're only at 776, but we still have 2 more gems.
yeah, so he'll be able to enter GP at 778, which is far, far, far more than he probably needs, but it's gonna certainly help.
Yeah, considering how the magic prices have come down, magic 7 is certainly enough. Attack 7, honestly, is enough from what we've seen.
And MiRai, trying to remember where these dungeons were on the east.
Well, we agreed P1 had to be in the Valley of Death.
Yep, but I think he still needs... He's got to find Palace 3, and it looks like he's not entirely sure where it is. Slamu making his way, doing slow strats, but effective on Guma.
Yeah, you can definitely see the execution difference between these runners, because MiRai was really good at those fast strats and just getting in there, taking several jabs before he had to get out. Slam was much more cautious.
Yep, with only having attack 4 as well. I appreciate playing it safe. The walk back is not a short one if he dies, so...
Oh, is he on his last life?
I don't know if he's on his last life, but speaking as someone who has lost, I don't know, 8 or 9 lives to this boss before.
Yeah, Guma's not easy. Getting the rhythm down, these runners make it look easier than it is.
Yep. But safe strats pay off. Slamu does take him down without a death. And And unfortunately, that level just putting up to 466 still hasn't picked up attack 5. Although at this point, the main places where big attack levels are going to make the most difference are on Guma himself and on Thunderbird, and Slimmu should be fine with attack levels by the time he gets to Thunderbird, and Guma thankfully already down.
Yeah, he still has 4 more gems, so hopefully that'll get him to attack 6. Hey, there's another heart container.
As good as he can hope for.
I guess MiRai was basically like, well, if I found the item room, might as well get the item and see what it is.
Yep. Yeah, I think Big Slimmu has 3 crystals completed. Unfortunately, the tracker is acting up again.
Yeah. Yeah, he has Guma down as well. And here's Rebo for MiRai. This should be a short fight.
Yeah, with attack 7, he's not even going to bother with corner stats, just doing very aggressive attacks. Having trouble getting his approaches in on him.
There we go.
Seems a little bit unhappy with that, but a nice, quick enough kill. Slimmu, meanwhile, discovering the great drop of Palace 6.
Which, as I recall, we did go through. Can't remember if it was actually required. I just know MiRai went through there.
Yeah, I believe it. I believe it was. I believe this route did lead to the boss. Whether it's required as a route to the boss, I don't know, but...
And MiRai finally enters the Valley of Death.
Finds a pea bag. Not going to be very useful at this point.
Let's see how his fairy feet are. Very nice.
Unfortunately, I believe Fairy is still 33 at Magic 7, so only going to get 2 casts of Fairy off on this life.
And Slammu's found Barba, does a little bit of jackhammering there. Yep. Of course, the risk of jackhammering Barba is that you fall in the lava.
Yep, but definitely can get you some quick hits. And I think at one heart left, Slimmu is going to play it safe for the last couple hits. I have had a couple issues with this last fairy feat, but does make it through.
As Slammu takes down Barba. And again, he's just going to burn that crystal, despite being so close to the next level.
Yep, I think this one is attack 5 anyway, so... Slimmu just on the, go quick, take levels as quick as you can, and hope that, you're going to be fine. I think he's, at this point, more likely than not to get attack 6. It's either going to be attack 6 or like a 5-7-7 situation. Which should be good enough for GP still. I mean, obviously, I'm sure either of these runners can do GP on low levels, but every attack, every life level in GP can definitely make the difference between a game over and not if GP decides to be GP. Palace won a nice, lovely salmon color.
And short, as Palace 1 always is. Elendar went right by the Valley of Death, but didn't go in. And that is MiRai's 6th gem.
And he's just burning it. He's done. He's like, I got 7, 7, 7. I don't need any of this.
7, 7, 7 should be enough for anyone. I'm a little bit surprised he's even bothering, Fairy Feet here. I guess it's maybe slightly faster getting to GP this way.
Yeah, the trip to the east from the west wasn't... I guess it was fairly long the first time, but with boots it might be a little faster. But either way, with quick Fairy Feats like this, it's certainly going to be no worse. And picking up another jar there is going to make him so he doesn't have to take a death for this last Fairy Feat. Oh, just thunders his way out of there, so Lava Bath's back on the menu.
I'm surprised he took Thunder over Spell.
Yeah, Spell can be tricky. The flag to randomize what enemies come out of Spell is on for this tournament, and so sometimes you press Spell and it's like, have 5 MOAs.
Today I learned something new.
Yeah, it can be good. One of the nice things about that flag is occasionally, if it rolls, the enemies that spawn are any type of enemy, but like Drippers, they still have the health of regular bots. And so if it gives you an enemy type that's worth a lot of experience, you could sometimes use the spell to farm XP. But about 51:25 MiRai entering GP, a pretty quick time.
And Big Slamu's not that far behind. Rebo's going to be his 5th boss, so then he'll just need to go through the Valley of Death and do P1. Then the question is, how linear is GP, and how far in is Thunderbird?
Sure, if you're Big Slamu right now, you're hoping for a 1st or 2nd room Thunderbird leading to just the maziest GP you can find, but...
And if you're MiRai, you just want it over with now.
Yeah.
And we see the difference between Attack 5 Rebo and Attack 7 Rebo.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
Slamu's getting this, but there we go.
Yeah, taking a lot more hits, but he does get him down.
GP has been fairly orange chicken heavy so far, which is not a bad thing since they go down in 1 hit.
Yep. Of course. Blue chickens. Slightly less friendly, but very survivable. Yeah. And here's our first fork. MiRai feeling confident enough to do the standard go right strats. Definitely sometimes when you feel like you're behind, it's like, I gotta take a gamble, I gotta go left and hope it's something helpful.
So, okay, Slamu gets Fairy Feet on his 2nd try. At 7 magic containers, he does have the ability to cast Fairy 3 times, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be helpful here.
When MiRai trying the up. Doesn't like having another decision, so...
Yep. Well, the nice thing about having forks this early is, as soon as you find Thunderbird, you can take all those other paths and put them out of your memory.
And remember, this is short GP.
Yeah, well, short GP is, well, here's
Thunderbird.
That's gonna cut a lot of it out. Yeah, short GP can be short, but it could also be... Ooh, and MiRai having cast that Fire Shield, unfortunately, just burning enough magic that he can't Thunder.
Yeah, he didn't think that through. He's shaking his head. But the nice thing about these flags is you know Thunderbird is required, so once you find Thunderbird, you can eliminate any branches before Thunderbird.
And the more branches you find before you find Thunderbird, the more of GP you know isn't in logic. So it means that at this point, probably not going to be that long of a path to Dark Link.
I'm sure that's what MiRai's hoping.
And a pretty clean kill on Thunderbird. Ooh. And unfortunately, gonna need to take a death to get across this.
Yeah, which does put him on his last life. Now, of course, Thunderbird will stay dead if he does have to do a continue.
Slamu has found his way to Horsehead here. Should be no problem. But yeah, once again at attack 5. Quite a bit more hits. It looks like this attack 5 rolled fairly weak for attack 5s.
Yeah, I hope the gem gets him to attack 6. I can't remember what comes next.
Yeah, it's at 5, 6, 7. It definitely could be either attack 6 or magic 7.
Or even life 8. I've seen that. I've seen 5, 6, 8 come out.
That is less likely, but definitely very possible.
And it is attack 6, so we're good shape for going to GP.
Yeah, 6, 6, 7 going to be no problem. He is taking the up and A here. Let's see how much faster or slower this reset route is versus going back through Death Valley.
Ugh. 2 bubbles and a red chicken, and we have almost no life left.
Yeah, and this is MiRai's last life, and oh, nice. Finding a red magic container. Unfortunately, not gonna be. He didn't pick up the life spells. No way to heal, but
I mean, no way to get the life spell. But here is Dark Link. He just has to not take a hit here. He's not too happy about his health.
yeah. Dark Link does fixed damage with his hits, so I think even with the shield spell here, he's gonna be 1 hit away from death.
Yeah. Oh, and of course we freeze at the moment. That's... So, well, we missed the fight, but MiRai got through it. Get your GGs in for him. He finishes with an official time of 57:47. Sub-hour, always something you like to see.
Yeah, real good time. I think we can only assume through the period of time the stream was frozen there that he held down and spammed attack.
I think so. I mean, it is, after all, a pretty straightforward fight. But even so, even the best runners sometimes do get hit, and Rai couldn't afford to take a single hit there.
Yeah, there are a couple things he can do that are very tricky to avoid damage from, even if you're just doing the standard spam down stab in the corner. But looks like Dark Link didn't give him too much trouble.
Okay, let's see if the tracker behaves enough to mark MiRai done and get him in here for an interview. Looks like it is, so hopefully we can get him in here shortly.
Meanwhile, Big Slamu making good pace through GP.
And we are joined by our winner, MiRai. GG.
Hello. Thank you.
So how about that slow start? It was amazing that it turned into a sub-hour.
Yeah, that's there was like no items. It was like a magic container and maybe 2 magic containers and a heart container. There were no items to find. There was a 1-up, I think, in Trophy Cave or something like that. It was like, where are all the items?
Yeah, and then fortunately you found your way off of West Hyrule, which is what led you to them.
Yeah, we saw Maze Island, kind of southern side cave facing north, and then just a little northeast of there, that was the Connector Cave to the east, and the boots were immediately right there, and that I knew that was going to open up the east. We saw the east was completely locked on that side, and that would mean navigating Maze Island, if necessary, would be made a little bit easier. And of course, there was a big lake on the west as well, so I did use that to my advantage to use the boots to get around.
How did you feel about that Dark Link? I think we could tell from your facial expressions, but
I need to hook up a heart rate monitor and display it on my stream. That's what I need to do because wow, I honestly was expecting Darkling to be a little bit earlier than that, seeing as we had a left, I believe, somewhat early on, and then we had that elevator that went up and went left or right as well. And I stayed down on the ground floor and I committed to that path, and that took me to Darklink. And then, I just figured that with the short GP that we would be expecting Darklink a little bit sooner, and I was taking a little bit of damage, and had to take a death on Thunderbird because I cast shield when I walked in there, and then I didn't have enough for Thunder. I was like, oh, you got to be kidding me. And then I had to take a death to get through that fairy room with the lava that looks like you can jump it, but I don't think you can. And I just ferried through it. And then I took a bunch of unnecessary damage after that and barely made it to Darklink. And here I am beeping. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. And he jumps on me that one time. And I was like, I'm pretty good at dodging that damage. So that I expected to dodge it, but sometimes you can still clip you. So I was concerned. To put it short story long, I was concerned.
Well, it's a good thing you didn't try to jump that gap, because you are correct. That gap is not jumpable without dash, which is not in this tournament.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought it was a jump dash combo would get you across there. And I was like, yeah, I've always ferried it when I don't have dash. And I was like, we're just going to ferry it now.
And by the way, Slamu just took down Thunderbird, so he really isn't that far behind, all things considered, especially since, like, you'd placed 3 gems before he placed his first, and Slamu just learned that you can't use jump to get over that gap.
Yeah, nope, it's about a block too far.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm watching the stream now, and I'm just seeing that happen now, so I'm like a few seconds behind whatever you guys are saying. Yeah, that's interesting that I placed 3 gems before he placed 1. It was, man, I felt like I was in, like you said, it was a slow start, but then I felt I was in go mode in like the 25 minute, somewhere around after 25 minutes.
That was right. 25 was right when you started diving palaces.
Okay, yeah, it was. I wrote some notes down here in the time that I was kind of sitting around, but it was like the boots were in that first cave on the east, which opened up a ton. The glove was right there on Maze Island. I don't remember what the other item was. And Karak, we got the hint right in the first town that Karak had the magic key. And so I was like, all right, well, I kind of felt like I should maybe beeline to Karak, to Palace 4, which is in the southwest of the west there. And I decided not to, but I guess maybe getting a little ahead of myself there. The child in the east was on the desert tile, and I found that before I found Darunia, and that was where Reflect was. So it was kind of just, everything was free up until it was like I was just walking the right way to find everything in the right order. And that was obviously super convenient. And then I felt like I was in go mode very early on.
Yeah, I mean, how about that vanilla Reflect right next to the vanilla Thunder too?
Yeah. Free old Kasuto Thunder, right.
And then, you see that you need the child for Darunia, and it's like a screen south of there.
Yeah, it was the last thing, I think it was the last town to find, but I was a little concerned because we were still exploring the east, and we saw the Three-Eyed Rock, And then a little bit west of there, we saw the forest tile. And I was like, oh God, do I need the flute? And do I need the hammer? Do we need to start looking for this stuff? Because I'm like, there's a lot of free stuff right here. And I'm looking for Darunia, and I'm looking for a second palace. And I found the second palace, and it was GP. And then I was like, okay, we got to find Darunia. We got still a little bit of the east left to walk around on, hoping to see Darunia. Once I saw Darunia, I knew I did not need the flute or the hammer at that point. It was simply time to go. And I know Slamu is a little rusty. He hasn't played in, I think, over a month. So he's a little rusty with this. And, I was not discounting him at all in this race. I was concerned. You generally always think that your opponent is either right behind you, right next to you, or right in front of you. And yeah.
Speaking of which, get your GGs in for Big Slamu, who finishes this out only 7.5 minutes behind, 105.09.
Very nice. Yeah, see, exactly. That's I could have been concerned. I was concerned with that Dark Link. I was like, man, if I take a game over here, this is gonna suck. I knew the way back, but I knew that was gonna suck. And I was gonna be really concerned with what was going on at that point.
So let's see if we can get him in here as well. He's in the waiting room now. There we go. GG, Big Slamu.
Thanks. Yeah. I feel like I know where I gave my 7 minutes back, and a little frustrating, but honestly, MiRai, you've been absolutely destroying it in this game as of late, and it's been a lot of fun watching you go from newer to more than competent to absolutely killing it. I'm really excited to see what you're going to do here in the next couple of games.
Jeez, Slamu, I feel like I need your address to send you some holiday cards, man. Thanks for that. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I was just talking you up. You're a bit rusty. You haven't played in a while, and as you were saying, you hadn't practiced this flag set at all. So I was concerned. I was concerned that you were close by, and you weren't that far off. You weren't. I could have made some more mistakes, and that would have been a hell of a lot closer.
Yeah, right after this tournament gets announced, I start work traveling like crazy, and I'm gone 3 weeks out of 5, and just didn't have time to get any practice in or even any seeding races in. So definitely a little bit rusty. I'm sure you guys could see it on the most of the combat. But honestly, the only thing that really killed me was I tried to down Stablis Rebo and realized that with him at the health he was and me at 4 or 5 attack wasn't going to happen. And then coming up one fairy cast short to get to Palace 1 and gaming over on that after getting 90% of the way there was painful too.
Yeah, I think I was on my last. It was my last life, and we only had 2 cast of fairy. Well, I only had 2 cast of fairy per life, and I messed up my fairy feat a few times, and I was almost in the same boat as you. It sounds because I was on that last. I think I got the second to last fairy feat, but if I would have had to cast fairy one more time, I would have just ferried through the encounter instead of trying to get the fairy feat that time. So
yeah, I'm clearly not smart enough to think that through. That's what I should have done, because I totally could have done it. But it was a good one, honestly. Great race. Honestly, I don't think I had a combat game over necessarily. GP was clean. I did a terrible job managing my experience, but I'm not used to high experience pool either. So I wasn't expecting the game to be that free. I also misread some of the flags. With the checkbox on Palace leads back to, or Boss Room leads back to Palace or whatever, I misread that as we're going to step out and the Palace and step out the back and be out of the Palace like it is in vanilla. I don't know why I read it that way, but that's what I get for not practicing.
you were looking for I remember the Discord message. You were looking for the I forgot how you put it, but you were going to go seedless, seed raceless, and then you were going to have some sort of comeback story. So this is the start of the comeback story, Slamu. This is your time.
Well, now I know how the game works, so hopefully it'll go a little better. Honestly, the flag set isn't that difficult. It's just getting it down and getting quick, because all this comes down to combat. And I gave back more than 8 minutes in combat, that's for sure.
I feel you on that one. We were talking in the race room, and Yeah, it was a little cold in my room to begin with, and I don't know. This is my first actual tournament race. Like we've done casual races, we've done seed races. It's like kind of like a whatever thing, but it's like tournament time. I've really only been streaming my entire Twitch career so far is about 90 days old. So I'm still pretty nervous to put myself out here like this. And this is like tournament time. And it's like, I'm very nervous about this first match, and my, palms were sweaty, mom's spaghetti. It was, it was, my hands are still a little sticky, and that's, I swear I washed them before we began playing. It's just cold. I'm nervous, man. What a race.
I am going to call for a mandatory review of that Dark Link fight, since it glitched out right as soon as you got that. I'm totally kidding. That was just the worst possible time for your stream to cut, apparently.
Did it cut?
Yeah, right when Dark Link jumped out of you, it froze, and the next thing we saw was you grabbing the Triforce.
Well, I'm recording locally, so if any review
That's
needs to
good.
be done.
I mean, this is a cash tournament. You need local recordings. Oh, and by the way, that's something we didn't even mention, but as of last night, there were big contributions to the pot. It is now over $1,500 for this tournament. Yeah.
We had an anonymous donor. I'm going to throw out a shout out to the anonymous dono that we had $500 from mystery person, and that put us into the top spot on the featured side tournament. So thank you, if you're watching, to whomever that is. I don't think we would have even been in the featured tournaments if it weren't for that $500 donation. So again, thanks to whomever that is.
Yeah, and that gives an extra $200 bonus to the pool from SpeedGaming. So,
Yeah, I have a feeling I know who that is, but I'm going to let that kind of stay silent. Don't want to call the person out.
That's fair.
We got secrets. All right, that's cool. As long as they're enjoying Z2R, and it seems like they are. And again, thank you for their generosity.
You could say that. So, MiRai, who do you have next? Do you know? Is that set up yet?
I can tell you now because I have the brackets up. MiRai, your next opponent is Nimbus, who I'm not familiar with, but I know that he beat Trails.
Yeah, that was an upset. I didn't see it. It wasn't restreamed, but I was just looking at that and trying to find the result of that match, because that's definitely an upset.
And because of the way the bracket pairings means, unfortunately, Slim, that means your next opponent is Trails.
Perfect. I have a history of taking down the legends. I beat Rose City Saint in the Z2R tournament, and I knocked him out. So
I believe you also knocked me out.
Fair. I had a decent run there.
Yeah,
you did.
Even on hotel Wi-Fi, I was making a run at it.
See, this is why I was afraid of tonight's race. I was like, Big Slamu, even though he hasn't played in a while, hasn't practiced the flag set, he doesn't need any of this. He can dominate brackets brand new, kicking out, big time runners.
Well, I believe in you. I believe that you could beat Trails, and then the winner of that match faces me in the following round. So I believe you can beat me as well.
So I looked at that Trails Nimbus match. I just found it. 22 seconds.
Whew.
Yeah, it was close. Unfortunately, though, what some people have been doing, they've kind of been cutting their stream and not letting the buffer run out, and you can't watch the entirety of that stream, unfortunately. So if you wanted to watch how close it was, I believe it was Nimbus who cut out the stream right as he was done, and then restarted the stream to talk to his chat. But unfortunately, he didn't let the buffer run out, so you don't see the last 15 minutes of the race, unfortunately. Because I was going to look at that myself and maybe do like a little bit of an overview on that. But yeah, that was so close. I wanted to see that myself, but I didn't catch it live. That's why you're seeing my I believe in stream, you're just seeing me kind of goof around and not talk, because obviously there's 15 minutes of buffer that I'm just letting go at that point. I was just waiting to get this invite and everything, so I was just kind of hanging out.
That's fair. Yeah, it's unfortunate with the stream delay and all, but that's the price you pay for cash tournament.
Yeah, Mariah, I apologize. I didn't realize. I totally forgot to wear the tank top tonight for you.
Oh, man. Well, I mean, you just got to make it out the lower bracket. I'll make it through the upper bracket. We'll meet again in the finals. It's Easy peasy.
Perfect. Sounds good. I will see you there, and I'll make sure to wear a blank tank top just like you.
Fantastic. It's a date then.
Well, good luck to both of you going forward. And
Thank you.
all of you in chat. Oh, I was going to say please give these runners a follow, and apparently that did not work properly.
I'm sure those runners are also worthy of a follow. I don't know who they are, but I'm sure they're also equally, if not more, worthy.
Yeah, it all goes back to the problem SpeedGaming's been having with their website today, unfortunately. Things haven't been updating properly, as you may have noticed that we had trouble keeping the tracker updated too, so... But do give these runners a follow in any case. MiRai has a 4 instead of an A in his name, and Big Slamu has 2 underscores in his name. Oh, there we go. Thank you, Elendar. And also thank you, Elendar, for the comms today. Pleasure working with you.
Oh, it's been great. Looking forward to more races.
And speaking of more races, the next one is at 6:15 tomorrow evening Eastern Time between Jay Coper and Willard J. Bradley, both of whom are triple threats. They do Zelda 1 rando, Zelda 2 rando, and Zelda 3 rando. So should be interesting seeing them face off here because I know they've faced off before in Z1R and ALTTPR. And that has yet to be determined channels, so keep a lookout for that.
Yeah, I'm supposed to be doing commentary on that. If I don't know if anything else is anyone else has signed up for that, but hopefully that does get a restream. I completely forgot. Oh, yeah, we all have to schedule our races pretty soon here. So hopefully, we can get this ball rolling. You're going to see a lot more Z2R on these Speed Gaming channels as long as everyone's schedule is kind of open. We have 10 more days at this point. Sorry, just flipped over midnight for me, so it's little over 10 more days left to get all these races in here until the 12th, and then that's it. So yeah, we should have a lot of Z2R, especially with the top featured side tournament position we have now. So hopefully we get some priority here. And if people like watching Zelda 2, especially the randomizer, well, hopefully there'll be a lot more of it here on this Speed Gaming network.
Yeah.
Yeah, Trails, bring it on. Get out here. Let's go. Let's race in 3 hours. We can do this. I'm kidding. I know you're at work. Let's race at 4 a.m. when you're off.
Well, I think that'll do it for us tonight, though. So thanks again for watching.